morning, all. Well, it is definitely fall up in the mountains anyway, because it's a bit chilly this morning. But today, our plan is to find a little bit of gold using the high banker. Now, I finally found the spot where I want to work. Let me show you why I picked this spot. Now, hopefully you can see we're on the inside of a turn. We have brush here, we have small trees, but the last good flood we had was 20 some odd years ago. All these trees are younger than that. So these have grown up since. So we still have, during a flood, we have a good flow in here. You can tell by looking at the boulders around me. We got some nice heavy gravel here. Right here at my feet, we have a little pond. Now when you're high banking, you always want to dump your material into a settling pond or into the gravel. In other words, you don't want to dump directly into the creek. And a lot of people, what's it matter if you put a little mud in the creek? In a month from now, this thing is going to be a raging muddy mess. Well, for me, there's two things that matter. Number one, people downstream. There are people up here, come up in the hills just to sit along a creek, and they don't want to see a muddy creek. They want to see a crystal clean creek. Number two, the fish. Now the mud doesn't bother the fish, but if it's the time of year where they're spawning, it can. So just, for me, it's just a matter of, being polite to the guy downstream. Don't put any mud in the river, and everybody's happy. Okay, another thing I want to talk about here is right over here. Now right here, we have a good sized tree. This tree is way older than 20 years old. And on this side, it's beat up pretty bad. So we know everything from this point that way, during a flood, this tree's been here. So this gravel hasn't moved. Now, 1,000-year flood, something like that, this would probably go. But this has been here for a long time. So we know the other tree was right over there. So we know from this point to that point, we have gravel that's moved, gravel that hasn't moved. So our plan is to work this gravel right up against the gravel that hasn't moved. That should be our best chance to find a concentration of gold. Now the next thing we want to look at is the gravel. Now right here, my foot's on a big boulder. I'm sitting on a pretty good size, a really dense, really heavy boulder. This is a nice, dense, heavy boulder, but there's gravel in here amongst these heavy boulders that I can move. You have to balance the fact that it could be the best looking spot, but if it's just solid boulders and you can't get to any gravel, not so good. So my plan is some of these smaller rocks that I can roll, I'll move those. We'll start working in the gravel. We'll set the high banker up right here where it can drain into that pond. And let's see if we can find some gold. Okay, well, I finally got the pump going. This is one of the things where a little bit of maintenance doesn't hurt a thing. My gas line that went into the carburetor had broke off. So I had to get in there, cut it off, put a new one on. It only took me an hour, but I got it running, idling, pumping water, everything's working. Now, while that warms up, I'm going to start moving some boulders. I'll let it run for 5 minutes, then we'll shut her down and stockpile some gravel. So I'm going to start rolling rocks right now. Now, I didn't show the setup on the high banker, and if you're interested in the setup on how to set up a high banker and operate a high banker, I got a video on that. It's an older video, but it's still all pertinent. So I'll put a link to that video in the description. Now what we're going to do is, once I get this gravel opened up, I'll take and stockpile gravel next to the high banker. That way we don't waste fuel while it just sits there and runs and not being run, any gravel being run through it. So we're going to dig out this area right here. That'll be our first test. Now normally all this surface stuff we would just discard it. But being we're running the high banker, it'll only take a second, so who knows, we might pick up a piece or two of flood gold. So we're going to go ahead and run everything. We got us a pretty good pile of gravel here. It took a lot longer than I expected, because that gravel, once you get through the top stuff, the loose stuff, it's packed pretty good. So here's hoping. Now what we're going to do is we'll just start shoveling her in. And just keep doing this until I run out of gravel. And I think we'll do probably 2 piles, and then we'll shut down and see if we're finding any gold at all. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, it looks like we are just about done with our second pile. So we're going to clean it up, shut it down, see if we can see any gold. Get the grizzly all cleaned off, so there's no buildup in the upper end. Okay. Gonna go shut the pump down. Be right back. Just look, you can't really see anything because I have the box set up a little flatter than I normally would, because there's a lot of fine gold here, so I want to catch the fine gold. So what I think I'm going to do is, I think we're just going to go ahead and clean the box out, pan it, and see if this spot we're digging at is any good. Now this whole procedure is a lot easier if you have 2 pans, one to put under the box and one to pour water in. But once you start working, you want to always have a pan under the end of your box. Okay, get the grizzly out of here. Clean the carpet off, but we're not going to get silly about cleaning the carpet, since this is only a test. Okay, that's pretty clean. Okay, I'm going to go pan this out. Be right back. Got that panned out, and we got a little bit of gold. Nothing to write home about, but a good start. Let me show you. Now you can see in here we got a nice line of gold, a lot of real fine stuff in there, but one decent piece right there. Well, I'm going to clean this up with the snuffer bottle, put the box back together, and then I think I'm going to break for lunch because I'm starving, and I'm pretty sure it's past lunchtime. And then I'm going to try, we're going to go down. I'm going to try to dig down to get in a different layer. Now we did dig into the first layer of pack, but I want to break through that and see if there's another layer of pack beneath it. I don't know if I'm going to get bold about it or not, but that's the plan. Okay, I'll see you after lunch. Well, we're back from lunch, and I got us a stockpile here. So let's start running gravel again. digging down along the side of this big boulder here, and we got another one right here, but we just broke through. The gravel is changed, and it's getting coarser, and it's a different color. Now, whether or not that's good or bad, the fact that it's getting coarser, I kind of like, because that means we're in a little heavier flow, so maybe we can find a little larger gold. But we're getting pretty boulder bound, so I don't know how much further down we can go. Plus we're getting awfully short on time. Okay, well, I'm going to dig as much as I can, getting tailings bound. And we're running out of time. We got to get out of here. So I think that was our last pan. Get a little more of this stuff stockpiled. Okay, well, much as I hate to say it, I think that's all we got time for, because it's starting to get cold again. It was actually pretty nice there for a while. So I'm going to clean the box out, pan her out. Let's see how we did. There's a lot more black sand in this one. And the gravel that's coming up looks way better too. Well, I knew this pan was going to be better than the first one, because I actually seen some gold when I cleaned the box out this time. On the first time, I only seen one little piece. But it's a pretty good pan. Now, I don't know if it's good enough for all the work we did. I guess we'll find that out when we weigh it. But let's have a look. You can see we got a pretty good spread. I mean, there's gold all the way down into here. But no pickers though. I'm gonna get that all cleaned up, pack everything up. We gotta get out of here because it's getting cold really fast, and I'm already kind of damp from the spray off the thing. So, okay, well, I know by the time I get back to the Jeep, I'm gonna be too tired to get the camera out, so I'll see you back at the house. While I was cleaning this up, I got one piece that won't go in the snuffer bottle. So I'm calling that a picker. Let me show you. We got this piece here that will not go in the snuffer bottle, and I can pick it up. So I'm calling that one a picker. That might be a loose standard picker, but still a picker. Okay, I'll see you back at the house. Well, I survived the hike, packing all that stuff back to the Jeep. And yes, it is the next day. But I got all that gold cleaned up, so what do you say we jump over the bench and see how we did? Alright, we're just going to dump it all on there, and we ended up with 2.11 grams. Well, a little over 2 grams. I've had better days, but then I've had a lot worse too, so I'm okay with it. Now, that was just a test of the one area. I'm hoping before the rains get going, it's raining out there right now, but before we get into real bad weather, I'd like to check out another spot or two up there. So hopefully we're going to be heading back to the creek, and I still want to go back to the hydraulic pit. So hopefully we can get them both done before winter runs us out of the mountains. Okay, well, that's pretty much all I got on this one, so I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.